Hey, pen people. I just finished a sketchbook for like the first time in my life. I've had sketchbooks before, but I've never really finished them. And I am by no means a good artist. I took an intro to drawing class way back in college, but that was so long ago. But I have picked up drawing just for fun, in large part due to the Sketchbook School YouTube channel, which is very encouraging. I love his stuff. It's a great channel. You should check it out. Also, I had a pen friend send me this sketchbook from Uglybooks. It's really nice and I wanted to fill it up. It just kind of invited me to use it. So I thought it'd be fun to do a little flip through of the things that I have filled this sketchbook with. I've used fountain pens, I've used colored pencils, I've used watercolor, I've done all kinds of things with this, and it's been a lot of fun. So I'm going to show this to you with the caveat of I make no claims to be any kind of real artist, but I thought it would be fun to share regardless. And now that I'm looking through my camera, I'm just now realizing that I forgot to put the finish date on here, so let me do that really quick. All right, now I can show you what's in here. All right, so way back in my drawing class in college, we studied perspective a little bit. I don't remember all of that, as you can probably tell, but I still enjoy kind of playing with perspective a little bit and doing something that looks a little bit 3D. So that was just kind of a fun doodle, kind of abstract, whatever. I did a thing with my kids where we all got to design our own robot and draw a picture of it. It was kind of like for a little science project thing. Funny story, my 6-year-old was devastated when she realized that we couldn't just go to Walmart and buy the materials that we would need to actually build our robots and bring them to life. So, oops, but we had fun drawing pictures anyway. So this is Herbie. Bonus points if you know the inspiration for that name. So rather than having a self-driving car, this is a robot who will drive your car for you. And I love this idea because I kind of hate driving. I've had too many bad experiences with cars. Anyway, just sketching my kids at breakfast time. And this one needs some explanation. So I was in my kids' room. It was a mess. They were playing, and I just decided to doodle and draw various toys that were just on the floor. I really like this Lego one. I think it turned out really well, though it's kind of like how with AI art, if you look too closely, it doesn't really hold up. That's how this is. Like some of the studs, if you look at where they're at and stuff, like it kind of starts to break down a little bit, but I still like that one. This one was kind of hilarious. There was a naked Barbie just sitting on the ground, and I was like, sure, I'll draw the naked Barbie. But long story short, I tried some shading and it did not go well. It was kind of uncomfortable. So I decided to censor that one, and it's kind of goofy with those stickers on there. So anyway, that was fun. This is just something from my imagination. I don't know why, but I just started drawing an old school computer, like the kind I grew up with, just a desktop computer with like a big fat monitor and like big bulky speakers. And then it became a monster. So you've got the monitor as the mouth and then the eyes. It's hard to tell, but those are on the speaker. So I don't know where that came from in my brain, but it came out. And that's the fun of drawing, is you kind of get to explore your own mind a little bit. And this was just a quick doodle that I just did in like 30 seconds. I really love the idea of just drawing abstractly without consciously driving what you're putting on the page, just kind of letting your muscles and your subconscious do the work. So it's kind of fun. And for what it is, for the 30 seconds I put into it, I think it's kind of cool. All right, now this, my wife and I were doing a little activity with our kids. There was a kids magazine that had this little picture of a crab in it and how to draw it. And so we were all drawing this crab together, and I just decided, it'd be fun to make up my own variations on that crab drawing. So I drew the generic crab, lady crab, chef crab, that's one that my daughter asked me to draw, robot crab, surprise crab, vampire crab, buff crab, alien crab, and sleepy crab. Okay, this one I actually am going to censor, not because it's inappropriate, but because it has ideas for pen designs in it. And I actually hope to collaborate with a pen company one day to bring these to life, and I don't want anyone to beat me to it. So these are my designs. They will stay secret until they are available to buy, hopefully one day. Okay, and for this one, my daughter has a book of like how to draw little doodles, little pictures like this, and I just flipped through it one day as we were hanging out, and I drew a bunch of the pictures from that book, and that was really fun. Okay, and this one, I feel like I was channeling my inner Peter Draws on this one, though he definitely does it better than I do. But I was in a Zoom meeting with an editing client of mine. So my day job is I'm a freelance editor. I edit college applications, grad school applications, short stories, poetry, you name it, I edit it. A link to my website in the description if you want to check that out. Anyway, I was in this Zoom meeting with my client and with her client because she hired me to work on her client's material. And so we were all in this meeting together, and they are Chinese, and she speaks really good English. He does not. And so most of the meeting was in Chinese, and I was just sitting there patiently waiting for them to come to a consensus in Chinese and then tell me what they wanted me to do. So I just kind of sat there and listened to the fun sounds of Chinese wash over me, and I drew this picture, and it was fun. This was another super, super quick one. I just sat down with a pencil and just tried to draw an abstract, kind of stylized shape of some sort, and I like how it turned out. It reminds me of like something from like the Klingon alphabet from Star Trek or something. I'm kind of a nerd that way, as you will see from one of my later drawings. Okay, and this one started out with this little thing, but then I had a bunch of extra space, so I started drawing this, and it started to smear. I like caught some wet ink. This was with fountain pen, and I was like, darn it, it smeared. And then I was like, well, if it's gonna smear, smear it all the way. So I would draw a little bit and then smudge it and smear and smudge and draw and smudge. Anyway, so I just decided to see what I could do with smudging as far as getting some kind of an overall effect. And it was really fun to play with. And it was fun to get my fingers all inky. Okay, this one, I was having a rough day. I was with my kids. They were being a little bit challenging. And I just decided to paint how I felt. This was watercolor. So I drew all these crazy hectic colors and then just this big brown blah in the middle, just because that's how I felt, just blah. So it can be fun to just draw from your emotions too and see what comes out. This is another one that I kind of drew from my emotions. Things have been kind of crazy in my country. So this picture just kind of illustrates how I feel about that, and I think how a lot of people feel about it. And this picture actually made a cameo appearance in one of my recent videos about the journaling system that is literally changing my life, about my peace journaling. So please check out that video. I'll have it linked at the end of this one. It's something that's really important to me, and it's gotten a huge response. So I'm really, really grateful for all of the support that I've had there. So this was something I was talking to my kids about. It's funny how much of my drawings revolve around my kids now that I'm thinking about it. This was a concept I was talking to my kids about. If I remember right, we all drew pictures to represent that we can do hard things, and this was mine. Just another quick doodle here. Sometimes I like to just take one little motif and just repeat it over and over and over again to see what the overall effect is going to look like. Much like this next one here. So I just drew a bunch of different triangles and then I filled in the negative space with Sharpie. And oh boy, I was not prepared for how strong that Sharpie was going to be. I had to open windows and really try to air out my house because it was smelly, but the result is fun. But every time I open to this page, that smell of Sharpie just hits me and I'm like, ugh, how many brain cells did I lose while I was drawing this? This is one of my favorites. This is colored pencil. I was just sitting outside again with my kids. My daughter also really loves to draw, and so we were drawing, and I just kind of drew the landscape of rural Utah where we live. You've got snowy mountains back here. This mountain is huge. It is an enormous mountain. This is probably like an hour and a half drive from us at least. This mountain here is much closer and much smaller. And yeah, so just kind of the desert landscape and a dust devil that I literally saw blowing through the field. It doesn't really look good in translation on the page. I feel like it kind of detracts from the overall landscape, but oh well. I still like it. I actually like it quite a bit, and how this one just in general turned out. Okay, and this one, this is a picture of my daughter drawing, I think at the same, let's see. Yeah, they're dated the same. This is the same session, drawing session. We were both drawing. So I just decided to draw her drawing. And I've always been jealous of real artists and how their sketches look. There's this really interesting way that a lot of sketchers have of making very messy looking lines on the page, but then a very crisp and nice image comes through that messiness. So I was trying to channel that a little bit, not really taking super close care of where each line was going, but instead trying to have this cumulative effect of all of the messy lines bringing out the image. And then, like many of you, I'm sure, we've been watching some Olympics. It's a lot of fun, and I actually really enjoy curling. The last Olympics in 2022, I guess, we watched a little bit of curling, and I was just hooked. It's just such an interesting game, and watching it this time was just a lot of fun. And this is just another breakfast, this time just with my son. My daughter was out with my wife, and he was drawing on a whiteboard and eating cereal. And so I drew him, drew the table, and drew some of the objects that were on the table. Okay, here we come back to some of my nerdiness. I've been watching Starfleet Academy, a new Star Trek show, and it has its ups and downs, but so far I'm really liking it. I think it's a pretty fun show, and it does some cool things with Star Trek in general. It takes it in some interesting directions, so a lot of fun there. And this, I believe, is the last one. Just a little doodle. Right Tech recently sent me a bunch of pens to review, and I used these to do this one. So each of these little tornado things has a different color, and then I use different colors for these border lines. So these will be in a sponsorship segment at some point in an upcoming video. And then lastly, I kind of messed up the sequencing of the pages here because I used the back of this one as a test, fountain pen test. It's great. The lines are crisp. There's no bleed through. So great with fountain pens. Not as good with Sharpie, but that's okay. Sharpie's crazy. I don't super love Sharpie to begin with. Anyway, and this is my 3-year-old writing something. Very cute. Yeah, so that's that sketchbook. I really like Uglybooks, as it happens, and this has no connection to my friends sending me this Uglybook sketchbook, but Uglybooks themselves reached out to me and sent me these, and they're not sponsoring this video or anything. I'm going to show these in a later one, but I think for now, this is going to be my next sketchbook that I fill up. It's got blue paper in here, and it's got a pink cover, super fun. I haven't put stickers on it yet, but I'm going to. Anyway, if you would like me to do another sketchbook flip through when I finish this one, let me know, and thanks for watching.